Something huge is happening right now in Europe's energy markets. A fundamental change in the rules is creating a brand new landscape, one filled with risk, sure, but more importantly, with incredible opportunity. For industries, for energy traders, and for investors, this isn't just a minor update, this is the starting gun for a whole new kind of gold rush. So let me ask you this. What if all the chaos, all the crazy price swings we see in the energy market, what if that wasn't a problem we need to solve? What if it was actually a resource we could mine? That's the big idea we're going to unpack today, how that extreme volatility is turning into the single biggest commercial opportunity in the energy sector. Okay, let's break it down. On the left, that's the energy market as we knew it. Prices were set in 60-minute blocks, which kind of smoothed everything out into a predictable curve. But on the right, that's where we're headed after September 2025. We're moving to a 15-minute market, which means the trading frequency just quadrupled. And the really important thing to see here is what they call the sawtooth price curve. You see those sharp peaks and deep valleys? That's the volatility, and that is exactly where the money is now. So let's dive into this new arena. This isn't just some random market shift. We're talking about a brand new, high-speed playing field created by a very specific rule change. And it's setting a totally new rhythm for how energy is bought and sold all across Europe. So how did we get here? Well, it all kicked off back in 2019 with an EU regulation. See, up until now, the day-ahead market, which is where most of Europe's power for the next day gets traded, it worked in those lazy 60-minute blocks. But the date you need to circle on your calendar is September 30th, 2025. That's the day the entire European market officially switches to a 15-minute unit. Now, the official reason is to better integrate renewables, but for businesses and investors, it means the game has totally fundamentally changed. Now, to play in this new, fast-paced arena, you're going to need the right equipment. And that brings us to the first part of our solution, the physical key. This is the heavy-duty, real-world asset that can actually grab and hold on to the value that all that market volatility creates. We are talking about high-temperature thermal storage. This system, from a company called Craftblock, can store energy as heat up to an absolutely incredible 1,300 degrees Celsius. This isn't for boiling a kettle. This is hot enough to power the most demanding industrial processes out there. We're talking steel, glass, chemicals. This lets them literally switch off their fossil fuel boilers for good. And here is the economic genius of it all. The stuff inside that actually holds the heat, 85% of it is made from recycled industrial waste, like steel slag. This just slashes the upfront cost compared to other storage tech, which means the business case, even for a massive installation, is incredibly strong right from day one. For anyone looking at a long-term investment, this number right here is absolutely critical. This system's been tested for over 15,000 charge and discharge cycles. And here's the kicker, zero degradation. That gives it a lifespan of over 40 years. That's decades of reliable performance, which is a massive advantage over conventional batteries that, as we know, wear out over time. So how does it all work? Well, it's actually beautifully simple. Step 1, it grabs cheap electricity, say when it's really windy or super sunny, and turns it into heat with over 95% efficiency. Step 2, it just stores that thermal energy, and it can hold it for up to 2 weeks. And finally, step 3, it releases that high-temperature heat whenever the factory needs it, 24/7. Simple. But here's the thing. Having this massive, super efficient, long-lasting energy storing system, it's like having the world's most secure vault. It's powerful, it's robust, but it is completely useless if you don't have the code to unlock it at exactly the right second. That physical hardware needs a digital brain to tell it precisely when to buy, when to hold, and when to release that energy to squeeze every last drop of value out of that new 15-minute market. And this brings us to the other absolutely essential piece of the puzzle, the digital key. We're talking about a predictive AI that acts as the master trader, optimizing every single move the physical storage makes. This AI platform called Stromfy.ai is working around the clock. It's constantly forecasting those 15-minute price slots to find the absolute cheapest moments to charge up. It performs what's called precision peak shaving. Basically, it cleverly avoids pulling power from the grid at the most expensive times to slash those huge network fees. It automates the whole thing 24/7. And it does all this by crunching everything, weather data, market prices, even the factory's own production schedule, to turn a dumb storage box into a smart profit-generating machine. Okay, so we have the physical vault and the digital key. Now let's get to the good part, the treasure. How does this combination actually make money and save money for businesses and investors? The key concept for any investor to understand here is revenue stacking. It's a fantastic idea. You're using one single asset, our thermal storage system, to create multiple separate streams of income and savings, all at the same time. It's not just doing one thing well, it's doing several profitable things at once. And this table just lays it out perfectly. First, you have energy arbitrage. The AI predicts the cheapest 15-minute slots to buy power. Sometimes you even get paid to take it when there's too much wind or solar on the grid. Second, peak shaving. Your network fees are often calculated based on your single highest 15-minute power spike for the entire year. The AI makes sure that spike never happens, leading to huge predictable savings. And third, you get decarbonization. It lets companies swap out fossil fuels for certified green power, which makes them look great and helps them hit their ESG targets. And this chart just brilliantly shows the impact of that one feature. For a lot of industrial companies, those peak demand charges are an absolute killer on their energy bill. By using the stored energy to just shave off that one 15-minute peak, the AI can slash annual network costs. And unlike market trading, which can be volatile, this is a reliable, bankable saving, year in and year out. Okay, the opportunity is clear, but where is it most profitable? Let's pull out the treasure map. This shows us the specific European markets where this combination of technology and market craziness creates the biggest opportunities right now. So the best spots aren't random. They're identified by a really clear set of criteria. First, you need lots of industrial heat demand, a big customer base. Second, you need lots of renewable energy to create that sawtooth price volatility for arbitrage. The market also needs to be fully switched over to the 15-minute unit. And finally, a big price gap between natural gas and electricity makes the decision to ditch fossil fuels a financial no-brainer. And to absolutely no one's surprise, Germany is hotspot number one. It's got it all. The highest industrial energy use in Europe, tons of wind and solar creating wild price swings, and its heavy industries are under massive existential pressure to cut both costs and carbon just to stay in business. It is the perfect storm of need and opportunity. Coming in hot at number 2 is the Netherlands. It's a major industrial hub, especially for things like chemicals and food processing, and its huge build-out of offshore wind is driving that volatility way up. But crucially, it's also home to a landmark project with PepsiCo, where this exact system is already replacing a massive gas boiler. That project is a real-world, proven blueprint for the entire industry. And that really gets to the core of it. We're not just talking about an efficiency upgrade or some simple cost-saving gadget. This integrated system of physical storage and predictive AI fundamentally changes a company's entire relationship with energy. They stop being passive victims of the market and become active, flexible players who can actually profit from it. So this all leads us to the final critical question. With the entire market structure changing under our feet, the question for business leaders and investors isn't really if they should adapt anymore. It's how fast. Is your industry ready to make that leap from just being an energy buyer to becoming an energy trader? The technology is here. The market is ready. The starting gun has been fired.